What's up, guys? Welcome back to Airbnb ABCs. Throughout my life, I have really never followed the pack. I graduated in 2002 and did not go to college, which at the time was viewed as a death sentence to poverty. And boy, was that not correct, looking back here from 2023. I've also spent my life in non-traditional type of employment. I have invested in things that are different than the normal, smash your money into a 401k, wait till you're 65 and retire on whatever amount that is putting off. I've invested in real estate. I've invested in passive income type of streams like this YouTube channel and other YouTube channels. I put money in taxable accounts so that I can grow that money, but then also use it to invest in real estate. And in my short-term rental hosting life, I have also tried to not follow the pack too closely in things that I think are going to benefit me and my properties specifically and set me apart from the general Airbnb VRBO host kind of mindset that everyone seems to fall into in a particular market where everything starts sort of looking the same, property to property to property. So today I want to get into the three things that I'm doing specifically in the Smoky Mountains that I think sets me apart from the vast majority of the crowd. And they're not huge things. These aren't things that are going to cost you tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to do, like put in like a putt-putt course or something like that is in a lot of cases outside of the reach of the normal Airbnb or VRBO host. These are three things that, some things that have been around for a while that have kind of gone by the wayside. And I think that they just really help us get more bookings, help us book for higher rates, and help us get more reviews that kind of fuel that more bookings, higher rates, more reviews, upward spiral that you really want to find yourself on. So go ahead and subscribe down below if you haven't yet. Hit the like button to help this video out and show you guys more things like this. And we're going to get right into the first thing. Numero uno is cable television, or some sort of thing that's a traditional subscription television service, a DirecTV, Dish Network, whatever it may be in your area, whatever you can get. This is something that used to be extremely common, and then when the streaming services came out, people started to cut the cord, cancel cable, and save that money for their Netflix accounts or whatever. But as time has gone by, these streaming services have become so numerous and their prices have become so high, and there's just so many of them that you have to subscribe to like 7 different services at $14 a month each in order to see all the programs that you want to watch. And in general, it has just become more expensive than cable. Now, a lot of hosts still have cut the cable cord. They have gone to streaming only with a bring your own login type of situation where folks bring their Netflix account, they bring their Hulu account, their Disney Plus or whatever. And for me, in my own personal residence, where we are right here, I do not have cable. I don't really care to watch television, so it's just not something that I have a lot of importance in. But when I do go traveling and I do stay in a short-term rental, a hotel room or whatever, I expect there to be cable television. I expect to be able to turn it on just like this. It is on without logins, without messing with things, and I think that a lot of other guests expect that as well, whether they have their own streaming logins or not, and especially at the prices that I charge. At the low end of my price range, once I charge my rate, I charge a cleaning fee, Airbnb tax on their fees, taxes. The lowest you're probably looking at is at a very minimum at the middle of February weekdays, probably $200 a night, and that after it's all said and done out the door. And that's something that you all need to probably look at, is what the total cost is that the guest is paying, because that's what they are looking at. And so it doesn't matter if you're only getting $100 a night. If it's costing them $200 a night, that is what the guest is looking at. And so for that price, I think that cable television should be included, and we are getting lots of great feedback by having cable TV, be it Xfinity, and we have a couple of DirecTV subscriptions. We are getting more and more comments saying that they are happy that we have that versus the streaming thing. And the reason is it's just easy for people to turn on. Whether you want to watch your favorite sports ball game, be it, football, basketball, hockey, whatever, oftentimes these things are on cable, and if you don't have that cable service, they have to log into whatever streaming service is carrying whatever game it is this week. And I'll be honest with you, with the NFL and Thursday Night Football being on Amazon and all sorts of different things, it is just kind of a pain in the butt trying to find where these sports are being streamed on. It's very nice for parents when they come home, they just want to put something on for their kids while they get dinner ready, or they've just been awful after they spent, $3,000 on this vacation. They've been out all day doing stuff for their kids and they're still just being terrible. It's nice just to be able to put the Disney Channel on and, let it rip from cable. And as well as just background noise. If you get into a cabin, once you've been there for a little bit and you kind of settled in and it's really quiet, you can put on something in the background noise. A lot of these cable networks have music channels that you can even put on if you don't have something to hook like your Spotify account or your Amazon Music account to. And it's just super easy. If you want to look at the Weather Channel quickly, it's right there. And that's kind of also some late 90s, early 2000s nostalgia. And these streaming apps are just a pain in the butt. Like, I don't know about you all, but I find that logging in, the lag, and just there's always some sort of problem with these streaming apps, and they're just a pain in the butt. So what we do is we now advertise that our places have cable, DirecTV, some sort of subscription service, as if it was like 1972 and there's a hotel and thing that says, vacancy, cable TV, and we're getting a lot of positive feedback on that. Also, a bonus for you all at home, if you don't have cable but you do occasionally like it, like I like it when things are going on, elections, natural disasters, hurricanes, you want us to log into one of these places like your local news or whatever, or a major news network, and you don't have it, you can log into their app with the login credentials that you have for a cable subscription in another state where your vacation rental is, and it's a little bit of a bonus for you. The cost is not exactly 100% cheap. Everyone knows cable is kind of expensive, but if you're looking at $100 to like $120 a month for just the cable portion, not the cable, the internet, the phone, but just the cable portion, and you can't stomach that, just raise your rates. Take that and divide it by 30, raise your rates by $3 or $4 a night. No one is going to notice the difference, and it'll make you feel better that somebody else is paying for that cable subscription. Next up is the real fireplace. I have found that most hosts these days are converting their gas, and even worse, their wood fireplaces to electric for various reasons, mainly because they fear the fire risk, which we're going to get into in a minute. In addition to that, most new builds are building exclusively electric fireplaces. It's just a cheaper and easier building construction process. You don't have to worry about heat, you don't have to worry about chimneys, and it just makes a lot of sense for them to be able to get in and get out on a construction and be on to the next one and get paid. The thing is that these days real fireplaces are harder and harder to find, and especially wood-burning fireplaces are a rare amenity that attracts a specific type of guest. And if you all can market your place to a specific type of guest that is specifically looking for that, you are going to have that niche and that guest type pinned to you, and they're not even going to be looking at the other 80 to 90% of properties that are on the market. And when we're looking at wood fireplaces specifically, that is a legitimate, authentic experience in a world that has really gotten to be more of a substitute virtual reality artificial world. This is your real butter versus margarine, and people out there are really looking and craving these authentic experiences because everything, it seems like these days, is watered down to be just the turn switch on the wall, and it just doesn't give you that real cabin in the woods experience of an actual fire that each fire that you make sort of has a personality to it, and it is a bit of entertainment in its own right. And we have a place that has two wood-burning fireplaces, one inside, one outside. The outside one is covered. It's a floor-to-ceiling stone fireplace. It's gorgeous. The inside is also a stone fireplace, just like you would think of in a traditional log cabin. Even though this is our cabin that is farthest out from town, and it is our smallest cabin, it always books the best out of all three of our cabins. It books for usually the highest rates, and it really doesn't really matter what rate that we charge, it seems like it books. We get a lot of feedback from guests that say that the reason that they chose our place is because we had these wood-burning fireplaces and because there weren't a lot of other places that did. In addition, this cabin is also in a great location. It's a beautiful place, and it has a lot of other amenities, but we have gotten specific feedback on our wood-burning fireplaces more than we have on any other cabin. When folks are looking at these wood-burning fireplaces, the biggest thing that I see them worried about is the fire risk. In my opinion, that's overrated, and this gets back to my non-traditional line of work. I have worked as a firefighter for 20 years or so now, And in my experience, I have seen chimney fires mainly from them either not being maintained as far as cleaned, or they have gotten cracked in some way and you just end up getting smoke into the home. I really haven't seen a lot of fires, or really, any fires that relate to the actual fire coming out of the firebox and onto, carpets or materials. And the biggest thing is to maintain the fireplace, make sure that the liner's not cracked, that it's not filled with soot, and to have the area set up in front of that to be as fire ready as possible. So you have like your brick hearth or your rock hearth. And then if you do have any carpets or anything that they are fireplace rated, they are fireplace rated, like area rugs. And then, wood floors beyond that, or tile or something that's not going to catch on fire as easily as a carpet is. Now, the one thing that I found with the wood fireplace places is that, then people get nervous that they aren't going to know what to do or cause a fire someplace by being unfamiliar with them, is that folks that can't make fires typically do not book our place, or do not book our place with the intention of using the fireplace. And when we start looking at fire risks, food on the stove and other heating devices such as space heaters are way more likely to cause a fire. So if you're worried about fire, really the way to mitigate that in the biggest way would be just pull the stove out, and everyone knows that that is not a thing that you can do. Gas is the second best. It is still a real fire, but you just kind of turn a knob or flick a switch. The worst part about those is that they are kind of complicated. They do cause problems, especially for the host. And so my opinion is just to leave it until there is a major problem that is going to require repair, and then go ahead and convert it to that electric fireplace. Or if it was wood and was converted to gas, think about converting it back to wood, because it will put you in probably the top 5 to 10% of homes that have those, and you will attract a specific guest that is looking for that amenity. The third way that I'm kind of diverging from the pack and, trying to make my places unique and do my own thing is in the area of guest book. This is something that a lot of folks have gotten away from. A lot of hosts don't do this anymore, and the reason is fairly simple, is that people can write or draw all sorts of interesting stuff in your guest books, and you may not know about it if your housekeeper isn't keeping up on it every single turn. But if you think about it, if you guys are listed only on Airbnb and VRBO, this is really the only place where you can unilaterally moderate reviews. On Airbnb and VRBO, if you guys have ever tried to get a review removed, it's usually a fairly uphill battle. And a lot of times I hear hosts, losing their argument with the different platforms. Even if it's completely legitimate, they're just like, no, it doesn't go against our specific rules or whatever, and they can't get that rule or that review removed. With you all, you can have complete control over this, and so all of the entries in this guest book are going to say that the place was awesome and that they had a great time. And just as hosts are pack animals, guests are pack animals, and they're probably even more so. You guys are out there investing in real estate, which isn't exactly the way that you're taught to go about your life in school. And so what we're doing is we are going to prime them to either put a good review in that guest book, and it's also going to prime them to leave a good review on Airbnb and VRBO when those review requests come in, either through your property management software or Airbnb and VRBO themselves. And the reason they're going to do that is because Sally from New York said that the place was awesome and they saw a bear and everything was cool, and Don from Florida said that everything was awesome. And so it primes them that, hey, other people say that this place is awesome, so I should already think that it's awesome as well, or I don't fit in with society, which is the way a lot of folks out there work. The biggest caveat to this is that your housekeeper has to go through this every single time, make sure that there's nothing inappropriate in there. We have found several different things from groups of guests who have gone to all sorts of different places and wanted to tell about that in our guest book. And so if you can't be on top of this on every single turn, there is a chance that you could get someone in there that could be offended by something that is written, and it's just something that you need to stay on top of. Cable television, real fireplaces, and guest books have done very well for us to kind of differentiate ourselves from the pack, and to also prime guests that our place is awesome and that you need to leave an awesome review. So if these don't necessarily Go with your property. Maybe you're not in a mountain market. Maybe you're at a beach market. Maybe you're somewhere else. Maybe you don't have a fireplace, or you're just against the cable TV thing altogether and you're all streaming all the way. Whatever, however you want to run your business is your business. But just think about what you can do to break out of the mold of the way the entire pack is going so that your property can stand out over here as something different, because people like different. One little bonus that I'm going to throw in here: whenever we've thought about investing in a beach market, those places typically don't have hot tubs. Every single place in Gatlinburg that does well, that is a top performer, has a hot tub. If you all have a beach home and you add a hot tub to it, not only are you going to be able to get higher rates, in my opinion, throughout the year, but those shoulder months, those harder to book months, such as your September, October, November, and then probably March and April, those ones are going to be better because people are going to have something to do other than sit on the porch and look at the beach. They can get in the hot tub. It gets cool at night and people will like that. So if we ever do invest in a beach market, I can guarantee you that our place will have a hot tub. So guys, click on the videos that are on the screen right now. They're going to tell you all about the types of cabins that we've purchased. There's a playlist up there that's going to tell you all about the trials and tribulations of running a short-term rental, Airbnb, VRBO, direct booking business. I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below, hit that like button. I'll see you in the next one.